I'm gonna watch Vtuber loses career over having a boyfriend. The downfall of Gumpai. Ooh, I think we saw a video of her.
Someone destroyed their...
I think we saw a video of Gumpai a little bit ago. I'm pretty sure that's her. Like, she was freaking out over not getting like a free plushie. It was really weird.
Someone destroyed their entire career in real time. One bad take turns into 2, then 3, until their reputation is set on fire in a blaze of ego, hypocrisy, and self-sabotage. That's exactly what happened.
It's a lot of drama for one guy.
A VTuber who preached against parasocial content while secretly building one of the most dangerously obsessed fan base in the community. For months, she mocked other VTubers for monetizing fan relationships, shamed women for taking donations, and clowned on
monetizing fan
creators with secret boyfriends. But the entire time,
that's
she
crazy.
had one too. And while her parasocial antics
my
were
boyfriend's
bad
never
enough,
been a secret.
Her downfall wasn't just
I love
about
Gojo.
leading on fans. It was about picking fights.
Gojo's my secret boyfriend.
Because somehow in the middle of it all, she also decided to go to war with a plushie maker. This is the story of how Gumpai built an empire on contradictions, cruelty, and obsession, until it all collapsed in the most ironic way possible.
How did it collapse?
This wasn't new behavior for Gumpai. She had a long track record of controversies, jumping between different online identities, going by names like Zuba, Anontunona, and Francel. But of all of these...
Ooh, that's a lot of... Wait, did people know? Was it just like a open secret that like she was all these other past personalities?
Personas. Her Zuba account was especially infamous.
But if I just move personalities,
pushing
I'm just like gonna be a different
into
guy.
Unhealthy dynamics with her audience. One of the clearest examples, her frequently asked questions section, where she was
you can call me Silas, Silas's son. Me and Gojo had a son.
The kind of fan interactions she encouraged. A fan asked, "Can we send intimate photos of ourselves? Pics, come tributes, etc." And instead of shutting this down, she enthusiastically responds, "Yes, you can, heart emote. I'm more than okay with them being sent to me. I enjoy seeing them. And I also archive them just to let you know." It's worth noting that she kept records of everything. And honestly, that just sounds like a blackmail disaster waiting to happen. But you know what's really a disaster waiting to happen?
What's a real disaster waiting to happen?
Seriously, if there were records of that, I'd never live it down. That's why I stick with Factor, because their chef crafted...
this is an ad. Factor, Rima, code, Rima Mar 50. There you guys.
She made it also very clear that she didn't just see her fans as supporters. She saw them as boyfriends. In her frequently asked questions section, she stated that she didn't want to post these pictures publicly because they were meant to be private between her and her audience. "I don't want to reply because it'll be public and I don't want anyone else to see your precious parts. If it's okay for me to be greedy, yeah, I'll be part of my collection if that's okay. I'd use it for my own material if that's okay."
Oh man, this is this is all sorts of farming, bro. I don't think I've ever really farmed. I don't know, you guys, I guess you guys can prove me wrong, but I don't think I've ever really farmed like all these like a down bad people. Like I'm obviously I would release songs, but that, you know, it's just a song. Like I don't think I'm down bad like this, and especially like in DMs or like off stream stuff. Even on stream, I don't think I'm farming that hard.
I don't want to fill my blog with
I don't think I've farmed at all, actually.
They're just private fun between me and you. I really enjoy everyone's
Dude, can you imagine if I farmed, dude? My mods would freak out.
So far, thank you so much. And here someone asked, any kind of pic you would enjoy? Maybe muscles, maybe butts? And she says, "I like anything you want to present to me. I do like seeing bulges and seeing you pleasure yourself with a background of cozy bed sheets if you want."
But yeah, my mods do not like me farming, bruh. If there's even like a hint of like a chance of like farming in chat, like if I had like an opportunity to farm in chat, the mods would ban them immediately. Like something would say a little bit sus in chat, and the mods would warn them so fast.
They were in an actual relationship with her. She actively leaned into full-scale girlfriend experience content, going as far as posting personal photos of her and sharing intimate messages.
"Do you want to cuddle? I want to be the little spoon, but I also..."
Wait, this is a private Discord call? It's not private. There's like there's like 9 guys there. Let me see
Do you
this.
want to cut?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least there's 8 other people there.
So, I want to be the little spoon, but I also want to speak in your ear. But I also want to put my face on your armpit.
Huh? Huh? What did she just say?
You stink. I'd sniff you.
As well as detailing every aspect of her life, even
What?
her weight after going to the bathroom. She also went above and beyond to prove she
Why
was
would you do that?
always available for them, such as sleeping in voice calls with her fans so they wouldn't suspect she had a boyfriend, and spending hours in Discord voice calls so fans always had access to her. And then there was her viral rant about dating her audience, where she openly declared that she saw nothing wrong with it, even saying that it was cheating if her fans had relationships outside of her. I'm not just a streamer, I am in love with my community. It hurts to know on both sides if someone has a relationship. It's literally cheating because I spent a whole day in a call yesterday flirting in Discord and we had a date
cheating,
together.
bro.
This
You're
wasn't
literally
just
cheating.
engagement farming. This was actively fostering obsessive loyalty. She reinforced this unhealthy attachment with tweets like, "Please, I'm begging you, don't watch me or interact with me if you have a girlfriend who doesn't know about me. I feel like I'm getting cheated on. I'm serious. It hurts so much. I'm tired of e-dating, so I decided to treat my community as my e-boyfriend. I'm
There you
also
go.
really lonely, have low self-esteem, constantly forget to take my meds due to ADHD, and have a huge media backlog, which are all things my community helps take care of. I'm doing GFE because it's fun and I want to be really nice to men." At one point, she vented on Twitter about feeling betrayed by fans, mentioning their real relationship. Damn, rage bait used to be believable. Unless it's not actually rage bait, because she immediately followed up with, "This is not a joke, nor a bit." She meant every
It's a
single
bit.
word. And in another Gumpai special, we got, "Okay, I get really depressed and sad when a cute VTuber on the timelet admits they have a relationship or has another guy in their bio because, oh my god, I feel really sad for their fan who really saw them as someone to cure their loneliness. Also, they are the ones who benefit from your following, likes, replies, and chat messages, not to mention your subscription and donations. It's just such a slap in the face to say those types of statements." Her obsessiveness over maintaining this parasocial hold over her fanbase extended to how she managed her community. Gumpai famously banned the names of every single female VTuber from her Discord server.
Really? So if anyone ever tries to collab and then they join her Discord server, it would just get banned immediately.
If anyone even mentioned another
That's
female
hilarious.
creator, their message was deleted and they risked being banned. Of course, no female VTuber could join her server for a while. Finally got around towards blocking every female name in my Discord server. Now companions can't talk about other women in my vicinity. I don't even know how that's physically possible. Surely she forgot at least one female name, right? But when she
Yeah,
got pushed
she
back
forgot
on
me,
it, where
bruh.
some people pointed out that she could benefit from having female friendships, her fans would defend her, saying, "No, she doesn't need friends, she only needs us," which really speaks
Yeesh.
volume about how codependent and unhealthy her community was. And yeah, of course, if you were suspected to be in a relationship, you would also get banned from her server. And she didn't just control who they could talk to, she also controlled how they could interact with her. On her Ko-fi, she had a $1,000 unbanned forgiveness fee.
Unbanned for wait, so if you want to get unbanned, you pay? Nah. She's actually farming these guys. There is no way.
Yes, you read that right. $1,000 to be forgiven after getting banned. And if you thought her tweets were bad,
Nah,
her Discord comments
nah.
were even worse. One
Nah,
of the
bruh.
most insane example? TBH, the only dicks I don't like seeing are ones that look really, really dry. It makes me sad. Like, I want to slobber all over it to make it happy again.
How does Rima say this? Does she not know that she's saying this? Oh my
I
gosh.
guess. What? But what made all of this even more insane was that Gumpai constantly attacked other VTubers for behavior she herself was guilty of. She had no problem ripping into other female content creators, especially those who monetize their audience through emotional connections, did GFE while secretly having a boyfriend, or talked about their mental health struggles. She frequently mocked female streamers for being too dependent on their viewers and shamed them for asking for financial support. Never did a donaton subathon. That shits is gay and R-worded. And one of her most brutal takes, imagine admitting to your community that you're a broke lord neat who can't work, so you complain about your fake mental illness diagnosis. Pretend to be nice to your biggest oilers, and yet you have a boyfriend and complain that your life is falling apart. Maybe you deserve it because you're so fat from DoorDash. At this point, Gumpai wasn't just hypocritical. She was the exact thing she claimed to hate. And that's what makes what happens next so much more ironic. But while Gumpai was busy love bombing her fans and controlling every aspect of their interactions, she also managed to pick one of the dumbest fights in VTuber history. And it all started because of a plushie.
Yeah,
on
that
November
was
24th, 2024,
this one was crazy.
Gumpai went nuclear, accusing a plush maker of stealing her design and demanding that VTubers ban him. Her proof? A plushie of her character, one she had never commissioned. At first, this might seem like a legitimate concern, but there was just one problem. None of it was true. The plush maker, Kusa, wasn't a scammer. He was an indie artist from Vietnam who took custom commissions.
Poor guy.
A fan had paid him to create
that genuinely just seems so
plushie,
sweet.
and after finishing the order, he had a few extras left over. But instead of tossing them, he simply offered them to other fans. The plushie maker quickly responded to her tweet, clarifying that he had actually been commissioned by one of her fans to create the plushie in the first place. That's it. No mass production, no stolen designs, no shady business. But rather than reaching out privately, Gumpai went straight to war. She blasted Kusa on Twitter, rallying her fans to report and blacklist him. And then she tweeted, "He's making AliExpress Timu tier plushies of my character, lol. The eyes aren't even correct. His eye colors
See, the eyes, they're all wrong.
Not fucking orange." Again, he just goes server to server, profiting off VTuber characters. And then she proceeded to shill her own merch instead. "Hi, you can support me by the new EU market merch drop at November 25th at 3 p.m. PST. I do get 20% profits, pretty good. At least I get profits then compared to this fellow where I get absolutely 0%. It didn't take long for people to fact check her claims, and that's when community nodes got involved. And from there, things spiraled out of control. Instead of apologizing, Gumpai doubled down. She mocked the people who bought the plushies, saying, "Lol, sorry to those who bought it, but that's kind of your fault. It wasn't vetted by me and it's poorly made." Like,
yeah, it's your fault,
bro. What were you
bro.
expecting?
Weirdo.
At this point, most of the internet, besides her extremely loyal fans, had turned against her. Even big names, VTubers like Bao, Shondo, and Pipkin Pippa came out in defense of Kusa, praising his work and calling out Gumpai's entitlement. But instead of stepping back, she went full mask-off mode. She started ranting about Kusa being from Vietnam, saying, "Bro lives in Vietnam. There's no way he's struggling for extra cash in that country with his business." And then came this absolute gem. You can sell orange juice with coffee shots for $1 and live off that for a week in that fucking country. What?
Bro.
It would have been a completely different story if he mailed me the extra plushies, but no, he's so profit-oriented that he decided to sell knockoffs to people in my community who have no idea when their shit will get shipped. At this point, it was
it's a weird mentality. It's just like at what point do you realize that you're doing something wrong? Let's say everyone is telling you that you no. Here's my theory. I think she's not seeing it. Like, she's not seeing all these messages telling her that she's wrong, and then she's built herself in this echo chamber into thinking that she's always right.
Obvious. She wasn't
and that's kind of big W for the
community. She was mad she didn't get the plush.
I want you guys to tell me that I'm always right.
She even confirmed it herself, whining, "I didn't even get anything for free." But Twitter buried her. Community Notes came back with a vengeance, exposing her hypocrisy. She had already received hundreds of gifts through her public wish list, close to 400 gifts from her fans. And in one of her own voice clips, she even bragged about getting a full fucking outfit, as she says.
Chat, someone fucking, like, I think this is a surprise gift, but they gave me a full fucking outfit. It has, like, a top and bottoms, and it also has, like, bracelets and shoes, and the shoes fit me? What the fuck?
Realizing she had lost, Gumpai tried one last desperate attempt at regaining sympathy.
Wait, actually, W.
She posted this.
W community member.
By the Vtuber community.
God, this is weird. This is weird that she said this. This is really weird.
Please help, which obviously also got community noted. She didn't stop there though. She doubled down once again. I'll always get fucked over by the VTubing community no matter what. I get my design character for profit while not even getting anything for free. Many such cases. Which was hit with the coldest community note fact checked yet. There is no evidence of by anyone related to Gumpai. She is receiving backlash due to her own comment and entitlement, not because of a crime. And just to really drive that point home, they included Wikipedia links explaining the actual definition of and criticism. She had officially lost. Her merch deal was cancelled, her followers plummeted, and even her own supporters were turning against her. Her YouTube account went into the negative, yet she continued. I'm only being watched by drama chasers because I'm a woman. If I was a guy, I wouldn't get any attention from my actions. People only care about male drama when it's about harassment or assault.
Yeah, nothing else.
You'd think that after all of this, she'd finally stop digging. But no. She went live on Kick, tripling down on her hate for Kusa. Instead of walking back her claims, she went even harder. She mocked her own plushies while stating that the ones Kusa made for Face Connect looked better.
And the plush doesn't even look as good as the Face Connects one. Like, this one is literally just felt. But the other, like the other, fucking plushies other people got are like crocheted. And it's like nice.
Bro,
like,
be thankful.
I feel like the people hating on me didn't even look at the plushie. Like, this plushie is fucked up.
At one point, she even played the victim card, saying, I feel lonely at the top. And then, in a truly delusional display,
you're not real, bro. You are not real.
That I have haters. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, she actually took credit for Kusa's success. Thanks to me, Kusa has clients now. And to top it all off, she ended the stream with, everyone is promoting me. 2025 is going to be the year. But that comment would not age well. After the backlash, things started to simmer down. Until Gumpai decided to come back one more time with what can only be described as a backhanded apology. I'm sorry, Kusa, I should have bowed down to your Face Connect goodness doll plushie machine and chilled with the xenophobic comments. Which doesn't exactly scream sincerity. But instead of leaving it at that, she immediately spiraled into a full-blown tirade, Kanye West style. She started rapid-firing a series of manic, nonsensical tweets one after another. Some of the highlights included, I will never be funny again, I promise. I was never funny and I will never attempt to be funny anymore. You're fine, I just had severe psychosis because I got pumped and dumped by an Italian manlet last year. My He-Man regenerates from September, so I had a really bad moment and I can't cope with being a virgin again, so I'm sorry about all my female woman moments. Please forgive me, boss. Can Trump pardon me from my VTubing reputation? Okay, that one was actually kind of funny. And the best part, she even acknowledged her manic behavior herself. My VTuber career is microdosing on having Kanye moments a bit too frequently. At least she was self-aware, just not enough to stop digging her own grave. By now, Gumpai had alienated almost everyone. It seemed like she had hit rock bottom after the plushie meltdown, the racism, and the Twitter spiraling. But no, because what really destroyed her wasn't
There
the
was
backlash,
racism?
it wasn't the leaks, it wasn't even her most unhinged public rants. What sealed her fate was the one thing she had built her entire brand on. She had made her identity about calling out parasocial manipulation. She trashed VTubers for monetizing fan relationships and shamed streamers for hiding their boyfriends. She even mocked one for saying streamers should stop treating fans like cash cows, laughing, skill issue, just make your viewers fall in love with you and don't have a boyfriend in secret.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I'm gonna be canceled over this. I would rather take YouTube's money, Twitch's money, any other billion-dollar corporation's money than my community members' money. I'm very thankful for my community members. I'm so thankful. You guys are the reason why I do this. You know, everything I do is for free. Please don't feel the need to donate, sub on my Twitch. You know, everything I do is free. So, you know, I just want to be able to do this indefinitely for free. And, you know, I feel like the road to that is not taking my community members' money. Like, I really don't want to take your money, guys. I would rather take it from these billion-dollar corporations. So just, you know, I appreciate you guys lurking, just watching all the videos. Big W.
Her message was clear.
If you really want to support me,
your fans,
like for free.
They'll stay loyal. But guess what? She had a secret boyfriend the entire time. So how exactly did Gumpai get caught? Well, her ex-boyfriend Fuza was a viewer turned VTuber that she had dated before her girlfriend experience phase. Once they broke up, she fully committed to the girlfriend experience bit, and she did everything to convince her fans that she was single, sleeping in voice calls with fans to prove that she wasn't dating anyone, spending hours in Discord voice call to always be available, tweeting non-stop about how she was different from other VTubers who had secret boyfriends.
Bro, you're
and she
different.
did this for months. But then
You're different,
things
bro.
started to change. She stopped sleep calling, she stopped hanging out in voice calls, and her tweets shifted from what users called pick-me bait to depression spirals. Her fans noticed something was off, and a male voice heard in one of her videos set all kinds of alarm bells off for them. However, she continued denying claims of a relationship while still taking donations. Her community, now paranoid and obsessed, started arguing over whether or not she was lying, and the drama exploded into other VTuber communities. That's when Genesis Prism stepped in. Genesis Prism had been friends with Gumpai since early 2023, long before the GFE arc took off. She had seen the warning signs, Gumpai's history of impulsive decisions, erratic mood swings, and deep dependence on her audience. But she had stayed by her side, believing that supporting a friend meant accepting them as they were. From the beginning, Gumpai had confided in Genesis about wanting to quit VTubing or restart under a new identity. She talked about feeling overwhelmed and often expressing frustration over how people perceived her. Genesis, knowing that Gumpai had a mental illness that contributed to mood swings, tried her best to be patient. They spoke daily at times, and despite everything, Genesis genuinely wanted to see Gumpai succeed. As Gumpai's GFE content intensified, Genesis found herself increasingly shut out. While she was a moderator in Gumpai's server, she was locked out of most channels and barred from joining voice chats simply because she was a girl. Gumpai reassured her that this was to keep her away from the GFE-heavy parts of the community. And at the time, Genesis took her word for it. What she didn't realize was just how deep the obsession in Gumpai's fanbase had become. Early on, Gumpai had also been very supportive of Genesis, even telling her viewers to check out her streams. But as Genesis' popularity grew, their relationship began to shift. By January, when Gumpai secretly entered a relationship,
did she ban her own mod? That would be crazy.
Some of her fans became suspicious. Instead of addressing their concern, she started banning anyone who questioned her, growing more paranoid with each passing day. As this paranoia took hold, the drama started spilling into Genesis' own server, where many of their shared viewers had migrated. Seeing this, Gumpai began demanding that Genesis ban people who had questioned her relationship status, despite the fact that they hadn't actually broken any of Genesis' rules. As Gumpai continued to isolate herself, she went as far as deleting her own voice chat channels and purging multiple members from
She's
her
going
server.
nuclear,
Naturally,
bro.
many of these displaced members
Yeesh.
sought out a new place to socialize, and Genesis Discord became the most active alternative. At first, Genesis didn't think much of it. She wasn't offering GFE content, she was just a VTuber who liked streaming and hanging out with her audience, but to Gumpai, this was unacceptable. As more of Gumpai's former viewers spent time in Genesis server, tensions escalated.
She did not like
the
that.
situation reached a breaking point when male viewers started hanging out in Genesis voice chat. In the eyes of Gumpai's most obsessive fans, this was cheating. Then came the moment.
Cheating? I mean, I guess if you're like that down bad, I see. This is like the problem with farming all these parasocial relationships. I hope that in my community member that I'm very clear that I hopefully that you guys know that I'm not trying to, you know, do that. If I accidentally do it, I'm sorry, but hopefully you guys don't see me as anything more than a streamer. Hopefully.
That changed everything. Gumpai pulled Genesis into a private group chat alongside her secret boyfriend Vatrans, where she made a demand. She wanted Genesis to ban certain viewers who had left her community and moved to Genesis server, labeling them as schizos and insisting that they were a danger to her. One of them, an AFK paid mob who basically scammed her. And another, oh yeah, that guy posts enough Nazi stuff to get your Discord banned. Her brilliant solution? Just ban him. Which, shouldn't she also be concerned about her own server then? Then came Eki, someone Gumpai claimed had made her feel unsafe about attending Offkai. He's the reason I'm not going to Offkai. He basically threatened my security. Now, legitimate safety concerns should always be taken seriously, but at this point, this was a pattern. There was always a new problem, there was always a new enemy, there was always some fresh drama conveniently keeping the attention on her. Genesis felt blindsided. These weren't troublemakers, they were just regular viewers who had been watching her for a while. They hadn't caused problems, yet Gumpai wanted them erased from the space entirely. So when Genesis refused, Gumpai's behavior only became more erratic. At first, Genesis Briz felt guilty about how things were unfolding.
Would you cut off a friend like this? Like, let's say you genuinely care about them, but they're acting like this. I feel like you should just talk it out. I feel like cutting out people that are problematic, it just sends the wrong message. Like, rather than trying to help them, it's just like you're just willing to cut off a relationship that fast just because you find like the slightest inconvenience. You gotta try at a relationship, and you know, you can't just like, oh, I don't like what this guy does, I'm never gonna talk to him anymore. No, you gotta like try to talk about it and not just like.
She never intended to leech off Gumpai or steal her audience. She even says, that does feel kind of bad and that's never been my intention. I never told anyone to come watch me or join my server. All I ever did was try to lift you up. But here's the twist. Gumpai never actually believed Genesis was leeching off of her. Instead, she weaponized their friendship, guilt-tripping her fans into believing that Genesis was the reason for her declining numbers. It was just a convenient excuse for her to manipulate her community. Wow, what a nice thing to do to a friend. Jen even points it out, saying, guess I don't appreciate being used as the tool for that because it just fuels the hate towards me when I really didn't do anything but try and support. When Genesis started to have to deal with Gumpai's unhinged fanbase as a result of Gumpai's action, on a few occasions, Genesis would bring this up to her. Honestly, you would do so much better as a normal streamer who doesn't have to deal with schizos. Because, let's be real, Gumpai basically had a full-blown parasocial cult. Only her most zealous fans had remained after she had purged everybody else that would question her.
If you purged everyone that was normal, you're only gonna have degenerates.
Gumpai was making a lot of money from this, but yes, the money must be super nice and there are some cool people, but holy shit, do you have some psychotic members. And Gumpai? Time to Fansly Max. At another point, Genesis outright tells her, this GFE shit just isn't cut out for you. You attract schizos, and like, massive schizos. And Gumpai, they're just lonely men, Jen. By now, Genesis was mentally checked out. She was tired of the drama, the paranoia, and the never-ending cycle of chaos. She felt like it was only a matter of time before a massive crash out would happen. So she made a decision. She left Gumpai's server for good. And to stop the drama from bleeding into her own community, she decided to implement a hard rule in her own server. I don't want any talk about Gumpai. I don't care if it's positive or negative. No talk at all. No shit talking, no praising, nothing. If I found out, it's an immediate ban. People have been trying to stir drama and I'm quite honestly sick of it. If you're here to do that, you can leave yourself, and if I found out, you will be banned. But Genesis had one last piece of advice before she left. One final attempt to get Gumpai to see the reality of her situation. For your own mental sanity, it's probably better to rethink what you would want to do with content creation, because you can't avoid people watching other streamers, and those that don't will go schizo and send you screenshots of people in voice chat talking about a fucking game. And for a brief moment, Gumpai seems almost self-aware enough to acknowledge it. I'm sorry.
The clarity, the red mist has not taken over yet.
And make you handle my drama. However, what happened next proved she had absolutely no remorse. The moment Genesis started gaining traction, pulling in more viewers and receiving donations,
no way she crashed out. No way she crashed out right after her friend got more viewers than her. No way. I don't believe this.
She spiraled into an unhinged rant in her own Discord, launching a full-scale attack on the very person who had been in her corner from the start. She twisted their friendship into a betrayal story, claiming Genesis had love-bombed her despite their long history as close friends. And then came the real kicker. The jealousy-fueled meltdown over Genesis receiving donations. In Gumpai's mind, a Vtuber who was open about having a boyfriend didn't deserve support. She ranted about people gifting things to a, quote, bitch with a boyfriend, and took it a step further, mocking Genesis for not fully capitalizing on parasocial monetization. She outright suggested that if Genesis really cared about making money, she should break up with her boyfriend because there's, quote, nothing wrong with being jerk-off material. The irony was almost poetic. Gumpai had a secret boyfriend the entire time, yet she was furious that someone else who had been transparent about their relationship from the start was still thriving. It wasn't about morality or fairness, it was pure jealousy. For months, Genesis had quietly endured harassment from Gumpai's obsessive fanbase, choosing not to escalate things out of respect for their friendship, but waking up to multiple screenshots of Gumpai publicly smearing her and fueling even more harassment behind her back made one thing clear: there was no coming back from this. So she had two choices: either stay silent and continue being a scapegoat for as long as Gumpai needed someone to blame, or expose the truth, leak the DMs confirming that Gumpai had a boyfriend the entire time, finally putting an end to the hypocrisy-driven harassment. In the end, the choice was obvious. The harassment wasn't going to stop unless the illusion...
How can you be that confident, right? Like a friend that knows your secret and then you're gonna trash them like this? Like, come on, bro, what?
Gumpai had crafted was shattered. Instead of a public leak, Genesis shared proof with two questioning viewers. When they confronted Gumpai, she panicked. Within hours, her Discord server was gone. Her Twitter account was deactivated. Everything she had built, every carefully controlled lie, came crashing down in an instant. And if getting exposed by her own friend wasn't bad enough, things somehow got even worse. A group of ex-friends or ex-fans and disgruntled community members decided to take things a step further. They built an entire website dedicated to exposing her. This was an entire museum of receipts.
All sorts of
screenshots of her
unemployed
DMs, clips of her racist remarks, soundboards of her unhinged moments, audio recording of her love-bombing fans, evidence of her manipulating fans for money, you name it. Now here's the wildest part. Some of the archives, her old content, her selfies, and even personal posts were originally collected by Gumpai herself. She had been hoarding her own history for years through her Zuba account. That's why she's even listed as one of the contributors to the website. But the leaks, the recent DMs, the private conversations, etc., those were new, and they were added on top of the archives. Her past and present had officially collided. At this point, there was no coming back. If there was any doubt left about Gumpai's secret relationship, the leak screenshots shut it down completely. Buried in the messages was undeniable proof that she had been seeing someone behind the scenes. The exact thing she had constantly mocked other content creators for. Here Gumpai introduces her boyfriend Vtrans to her friend Jen. Additionally, leaked receipts confirmed that while Gumpai was still taking donations from fans who saw her as their virtual girlfriend, she was secretly using that money to buy her boyfriend expensive gifts, including a high-end 3-dio ASMR mic and audio interface, worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. Her fans were not only paying for her content, but also funding her entire relationship. In another instance, Genesis checks in on Gumpai, asking how she's doing, and Gumpai responds, "Yes, I love him. He wants to manager LARP me. We made so many spreadsheets."
Manager LARP, what is that?
Really makes this old tweet from her hit differently in hindsight. From a ruthless businesswoman perspective, it's pointless to network with other female VTubers who have their boyfriends as their managers because they don't know jack shit and there's practically zero useful conversations to be held. Not only that, but the leaks show just how aware Gumpai was of the consequences if her audience ever found out about her secret boyfriend. In one conversation,
it would be
she
bad.
openly admitted,
That's why she just erased her own Discord.
TwitchCon, they will kill me for having a boyfriend. To this, Genesis, who had never marketed herself as a GFE streamer, responds, "Yeah, that's fine. I never really said anything about my relationship status, but then again, I'm not a GFE streamer anyways." And then Gumpai, in what can only be described as a complete lack of self-awareness, says, "Me neither." She doubled down, trying to justify her situation by claiming, "I got groomed by Vtrans." She then adds, "He seduced me too hard. He kept writing me love letters. I swear I'm not schizo." So let's get this straight. The woman who built her entire identity on not being like the other GFE girls who have secret boyfriends and who mocked other creators saying, "Just make your viewers fall in love with you and don't have a boyfriend in secret," was doing exactly just that. Oh, the irony. As the news spread, Gumpai's fans were split between shock, anger, and bitter realization. One of her longtime supporters went to Twitter to vent his frustration.
Oh, they're gonna crash out.
"I supported you even when everyone but your community hated you. Yet it seems like you don't give a shit about anyone. I'm not one to take the whole GFE thing that seriously. I genuinely enjoyed my time with you, and I do wish you the best going forward." Someone quickly responds,
anymore.
"Sorry to tell you this, but it was obvious she was just using her fans for monetary gain and didn't care about her fans." And the fan, clearly heard, defended himself. "What proof do you have to call this obvious? The reason I got into her to begin with was because she felt closer to me than my IRL girlfriend at the time. She definitely..."
Oh, that sucks, bro. I think you should break up with your girlfriend. You feel closer to a VTuber than your actual girlfriend, significant other?
They acted like she cared from when I first joined until she stopped doing the sleep calls. For many of Gumpai's diehard fans, this was a brutal wake-up call. But for others, this was exactly what they expected. As the situation went viral again, plenty of old viewers came forward to say that they had seen it coming for months. Some recalled how they had warned her about the dangers of leaning too hard into GFE content. Others brought up her hypocrisy, pointing out how she ruled her server with an iron fist while mocking other streamers for doing exactly what she had been doing. And of course, many pointed back to her infamous boyfriend tweet where she smugly claimed, "Just make your viewers fall in love with you and don't have a boyfriend in secret." Now, she was living proof of why that advice was terrible. And just when you thought it couldn't get more ridiculous, there was this. After everything had gone down, Gumpai repurposed a form to be a boyfriend application. Yes, really. With questions such as, "Are you a virgin? What are the dimension of your genitals? And how often do you gump?"
What?
Like, what the actual hell? Moving on. At the time of writing this video, Gumpai is back on social media.
She's back.
This time under the hashtag reformed. But has anything actually changed?
Maybe.
Not really.
Oh,
She's
not really.
been active on her alt account called
Diet Coke,
where she's fully leaned into her not safe for work content hustle. And if there was any doubt that it's actually her, she linked the account to her own throne wishlist, confirming that, once again, with her, it's business as usual. Thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to my Discord community
yeah,
for
at least
submitting
now it's
this story.
transparent.
You guys are the real MVPs.
This is who she is, bro.
If you want to
support her,
contribute to future videos or just
like if you want to support her still, hey, that's your prerogative.
hang out and talk about VTubers, join the server at discord.gg/Rima. And if you can't get enough of my content, I stream on Twitch, YouTube, plus I upload highlights on my second channel, so make sure to subscribe to that too. Oh, and if you want to support the channel directly, check out my Patreon. Every bit helps me make even bigger and better videos. That's all for now. Until next time.
All right, see ya. That video by Rima. Good video. Check her out.